All right, let's talk about something in your home you probably take for granted, at least until it breaks, your HVAC system. It's the unsung hero working behind the scenes to keep you comfortable, and today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how it works, why it breaks down, and what you can do about it.
So I've got a question for you. Who's the hardest working hero in your house? Seriously, think about it. It's not your fancy TV or your smart fridge. Nope. It's your HVAC system. It's the silent guardian of your comfort, just chugging along in the background, until, of course, it's not. And that's usually the only time we notice it, right? When our hero's in trouble.
Now, to really get why your system might fail, you have to understand what it's up against. See, your HVAC is in a constant, brutal fight with the world just outside your walls. The climate itself is the enemy. And to see what I mean, just look at a place like San Antonio, Texas. The climate there is just relentless. It pushes these systems to their absolute breaking point. And we're not just talking, oh, it's a hot day. No. The attacks are way more specific than that. In a place like San Antonio, you've got summer heat blasting past 100 degrees, forcing the system to run nonstop for months on end. Then in winter, you get these crazy freeze-thaw cycles that can crack vital components. The local limestone bedrock kicks up this alkaline dust that literally eats away at copper lines. And don't even get me started on the humidity swings and all that cedar and oak pollen clogging up the system's airways. Every single one of these is a unique kind of stress on your unit.
Okay, so what happens when all that pressure, that constant assault from the environment, finally gets to be too much? Well, our hero starts to stumble. Let's get into the anatomy of a breakdown and look at the telltale warning signs that your HVAC is in deep trouble.
First up, and this is the big one, compressor overheating. You got to think of the compressor as the heart of your air conditioner. And after running full tilt for months in extreme heat, it can get put under some serious thermal stress. If you start hearing loud banging or notice your circuit breaker keeps tripping, that is a massive red flag. It's the sound of your system's heart struggling to keep going.
Next, there's the slow bleed of a refrigerant leak. Remember that corrosive dust we were just talking about? Yeah, that stuff can poke tiny little pinhole leaks in the copper lines. Now, this isn't a sudden failure. It's gradual. You'll just notice the system seems to be running longer and longer to cool the house. Your bills start creeping up. You might even see ice forming on the outdoor unit. It's literally losing its lifeblood, drop by drop.
And here's one you see all the time, capacitor burnout. This little part's job is to give the motors the jolt they need to get started, and it spends its whole life getting baked by the sun. When it finally gives up, you'll hear this very distinct clicking sound. That's the unit trying to turn on, but it just can't. Now, the part itself is pretty cheap to replace, but, and this is a big but, if you ignore that click, you risk burning out the much more expensive motor. And all of this leads to that moment, the one every homeowner dreads. You get a major breakdown, and a technician hands you a pretty hefty repair estimate. So what do? Do you sink money into repairing the system you have, or is it time to replace it? Well, there's a really simple tool that can help you make a smart financial choice, not an emotional one.
It's called the $5,000 rule, and its purpose is incredibly simple. It's designed to help you avoid throwing good money after bad. You know, to stop you from pouring cash into a system that's already on its last legs. It's a quick bit of math that cuts right through the stress of the moment and gives you a clear, logical answer.
Okay, so here's how you use it. It's just 4 easy steps. 1. Figure out how old your system is. 2. Get a firm, written quote for the repair cost. 3. You just multiply those two numbers together, the age of the unit times the cost of the repair. And 4. You look at that final number. If it's more than $5,000, replacement is probably your smarter long-term bet. Let's put this into practice, right? Look at these two scenarios. In scenario A, you've got a 6-year-old system, and it needs a $400 repair. Okay, so 6 times 400 equals $2,400. That's way under the $5,000 mark, so yeah, a repair makes perfect sense. But now look at scenario B. Here we have a 12-year-old system with an $800 repair bill. 12 times 800 is $9,600. That is way over $5,000. And that number is telling you that investing that repair money into an old system is probably a bad idea. Replacement is the wiser path. All right, so whether you've decided to repair or you're going for a full replacement, your next step is to call for backup. Let's quickly talk about the different kinds of professional help that are out there, and more importantly, how you can start planning ahead to hopefully prevent this whole crisis from happening again. You can really break down the services into 3 tiers. First, you've got emergency repair. This is for when something just goes kaput and you need to get your comfort back like right now. The best way to avoid that call, though, is with the second tier, preventative maintenance. This is your seasonal checkup, where a pro can catch those little problems before they explode into big, expensive ones. And finally, when the $5,000 rule tells you it's time, you've got system replacement. That's when you get a modern, energy-efficient system installed for long-term peace of mind.
So here's the bottom line. Your HVAC system is way more than just a metal box sitting outside your house. It truly is the guardian of your family's comfort, and it is fighting a battle against the climate for you, day in and day out. And to help it win that battle, you need a strategy. You need to understand the threats, know the warning signs, and have a solid plan for when things eventually go wrong.
Which really just leaves one last question for you to think about. After everything we've talked about today, from corrosive dust to overheating compressors and that handy $5,000 rule, is your home's hero ready for its next battle?